Good morning. Let me know if you can see me in all the places. Woohoo! Looks like I am live. Perfect. Okay, let me know if you can see me, where you're watching me from, all the things. Welcome. I'm excited that it worked this week. The weather is cooperating. Welcome to this week's Monday morning style session. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be talking about what it means to dress our age in 2024. And the new rules of dressing your age. So that's the topic of tomorrow's YouTube video. I'm talking about the new rules for dressing your age in 2024. I know this is a hot button topic for a lot of you. Hello, good morning. But I want to dive into, what does this mean now? Like, how is this even relevant to us now? What does dressing your age look like now? It's because it's changed, right? It's changed dramatically from when the Golden Girls, in whatever, the 80s and 90s, the way that they dressed, the way that they did their hair, the way that they did their makeup, to Jennifer Lopez and Jennifer Aniston and Salma Hayek and all of the other, 50s, 60s, 70s celebs now that are basically reinventing what it means to dress our age in 2024. So I want to talk about 5 strategies for dressing your age in 2024. And by dressing your age, my whole guidance on everything is that we want to dress more like ourselves. We want to dress more modern, and we want to dress more relevant as we get older, rather than holding on to old ideas about what it means to dress at 50 or at 60 or at 70 or wherever you're at. So tomorrow's video on YouTube, I'm going to be busting some myths about dressing your age and helping us reframe our minds and change our minds about what it means to dress our age. Today, I want to address the 5 areas that you can look at when it comes to updating your style so that you dress your age in a modern way. So the very first thing we want to talk about is mindset. I want you to think about and consider journaling about this, or writing about this, or discussing this with a good friend, what messages you received about getting dressed at 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 as you were growing up in your 20s. Like, how did you view turning 50 or turning 70, wherever you're at, when you were 20 years old? How did you view that? And how did you view the styles that you would be wearing at that stage of your life? Like, what were the messages that you got when you were growing up? I will share one. When I was growing up, I got the message that when you wore black, that signaled a funeral. So older women in Egypt wear black only when they're in mourning. And so you don't wear black as an older woman because that means that you're in mourning. Well, clearly that's not a relevant thing to hold on to in 2024, because people are not just wearing black when they're in mourning anymore, right? So sometimes the old ideas that we got about how we are supposed to dress after a certain age, most of those are no longer relevant. They're just no longer relevant. They're based on the factors that were around that other time period. And many of them weren't even relevant then, but they're definitely not relevant now, because times have changed and styles have changed. And so if we're holding on to a style from 1980 or 1990, or an idea from 1980 or 1990 or 1970 or 1960 or whatever that is for you, just recognize that is no longer valid. It's no longer valid. It's like thinking that nothing else has changed. We know everything has changed since 1970 or 1980. So why wouldn't our ideas about style or about dressing our age also have been updated? So got a good one here. Older women aren't supposed to care about fashion. Yep. Older women are supposed to cover up. Older women are not supposed to wear bright colors. Older women are not supposed to show their knees or their upper arms. Older women are not supposed to wear their hair long. What are the ideas that you learned about style for older women as you were growing up? And how can you update those ideas for yourself now? So that's the first thing I want you to think about, is your mindset, changing your ideas. If you find yourself too often saying, well, should I really be wearing that at my age? I can't really wear that anymore. I shouldn't really wear that anymore. I'm not supposed to wear that anymore. It's one thing to decide that something is no longer right for you. It's another thing to have that decided for you, right? I want you to decide what's right for you. I don't want other people and other voices in there telling you, yeah, you shouldn't be doing that anymore. You will never hear me say, stop wearing this at this age. My goal is always for you to look modern and fresh and relevant, not to wear the clothes that are designated for mature women, right? We know what clothes I'm talking about. So ask yourself, what are those ideas that you've had, and how can you reframe those ideas? If you grew up thinking older women should no longer care about fashion, I want you to rewrite this. This is the perfect time of my life to start caring about fashion because I've never known myself better, and I'm recommitting to discovering what I love at this age. That was wordy, but I want you to rewrite the old messages that you got about style growing up, the old messages that you got. Identify what those are, because often they're in the background. We hear that buzz. We hear that, can't believe she's wearing that. She's too old for that. You hear that in the back of your head, and you're not bringing it forward. And because you're not bringing it forward, you can't address it. And it's going to continue to influence what you buy and what you wear. Okay, the next thing I want you to consider updating is your daily uniform. Your daily uniform. What is your go-to daily outfit for your daily life? What do you wear more often than not? 3 to 4 times a week, for example. I will tell you, I just did laundry for the first time in a couple of weeks because we've had the craziest couple of weeks. And what did I find in the laundry? I found 5 sleeveless black dresses. That's a daily uniform for me. And it's a daily uniform that works for me because black is a good color for me, and it's hot here in Florida, so I want to wear a sleeveless dress. So what I would like you to look at is in a given week, what are you wearing 3 to 4 times a week? How can you update and upgrade that daily uniform? How can you update and upgrade that daily uniform? If your daily uniform consists of pieces that I have maybe shared in the past that they fall into like mature women only categories, like tunics with leggings, or dated novelty printed tops, or but wait, there's more top with way too much going on. Dated pieces or aging pieces, if those are part of your daily uniform, consider asking yourself how you can upgrade and update that daily uniform. So if, for example, you are a tunic and leggings person, and your tunics have all been colorful tunics, and your leggings have all been 7/8 leggings, like cropped leggings, maybe consider doing just a long button down shirt as your tunic instead, and a pair of full length leggings. Like, just small tweaks, small updates, small upgrades to your daily outfits can make a really big difference. Okay, I love this. Pamela said, I got the message that I would always care about fashion, but not from your mother, though. That's a great message. So we're really trying to identify, like, if there is any negative messages that we got. Those are the ones we want to update. The positive messages, you want to write those down, and you want to keep repeating those to yourself because those are awesome. Okay, so upgrading and updating your daily uniform is step 2. We talked about mindset, what we were taught, what we heard, and then upgrading and updating your daily uniform. The third thing I would consider upgrading and updating is your choice of store. Now, I'm not talking about department stores because department stores have everything. They have the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? I'm talking about specialty stores. Your J. Crew or Talbot's or Chico's or Loft or Bowdoin, or wherever you are in whatever part of the world you're in. What is the store that is your go-to store? What is the store that is your go-to store? Does it fall on my list of 10 stores to watch out for, or does it fall on my list of 10 stores to shop from? I'm actually coming out with a list, but you know what they are because I mentioned them in all my videos. So are they over 50 exclusive stores? Like, are they stores that are really aimed at women over 50? You're going to want to tread cautiously and approach those stores cautiously, because they're going to have some really good options, and then they're going to have some not great options. And I share these options all the time in my videos. But instead of, for example, leaning heavily on an over 50 retailer, consider an ageless retailer. So instead of, I'm just going to put this out there, instead of a store like Talbot's, which has some great options and some not so great options, maybe consider replacing a Talbot's with a Loft, right? Like, those can be those are almost like sister brands in the sense that one is a more youthful iteration of the other in a way. And so maybe if you like Talbots, you might also like Loft, but Loft has more modern and more ageless styles to choose from. So consider updating or upgrading your go-to store from an over 50 focused store to a more ageless store. Again, lists for both of those categories coming out shortly. But what is your current go-to store? What could become your current go-to store if you made that shift? Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is accessories. So I see this all the time where, we've got the basics, we've assembled the essentials, or we put together a cute modern outfit, and then we add on a pair of really unflattering comfort sandals. Or we add on a very utilitarian bag that makes no attempt at style, at updating, at modernizing your outfit. So outfits fall apart in the accessories. That's where outfits fall apart. They fall apart in the accessories. Like if your outfits are not working, check your accessories first. After the very basics, which I would say are color. Does the color make you look good, or does it make you look tired? and like you need a nap, or like you need more makeup, and then fit. After those two characteristics, color and fit, if you've got those boxes checked, you want to check the accessories next, because your shoes might be bringing down your outfit, your earrings might be bringing down your outfit, your styling might be bringing down your outfit, your jacket, your completer piece. You may put on a really cute outfit and then wear a schlumpy cardigan and then be like, well, what's wrong with my outfit? It's just a cardigan. It's just a cardigan. Like, just switch the jacket, just switch the shoes, just switch the earrings, just switch the bag, just switch the way that you've done your scarf, or and any of those little finishing touches. Those are going to be the pieces that are going to take your outfits from ho-hum to fabulous, and can also do the reverse, right? It can take an outfit that had a lot of potential and then pull it down. So where I see this the absolute most is in completer pieces, jackets, cardigans, things like that, and in shoes. Is your shoe elevating your outfit, meeting your outfit where it's at, or is it pulling your outfit down? There is no reason in 2024 to choose a comfort shoe that is not also stylish and flattering. There just isn't. Because at the end of the day, a fashion sneaker, which is a very simple neutral sneaker, is always going to be a better option than a comfort sandal or comfort shoe that has no nod to style and is only about comfort. You deserve both. You need both. So your accessories, how can you upgrade your accessories? Are your accessories modern? Do they elevate your outfits? Do they speak to your personal style? Do they feel like you? And I talk about this all the time, but if you could identify what you would look like if you were a shoe, if you could identify a pair of sandals that is such a you pair of sandals that you're like, they just made those sandals for me, a bag that is such a you bag, a pair of earrings or a hat or any other accessory that just speaks to your personal style so clearly and so loudly, then that should be a piece that you absolutely bring into your wardrobe. Remember that accessories are not only a way to complete and wrap up your outfits in a beautiful bow, but they're also really an easy and accessible way to bring your personal style into daily outfits. Okay, the last thing that we're going to look at when we're talking about a strategy for dressing our age is updating our beauty. So what does that mean? Your hair and your makeup, basically, and your nails. So if one of those elements are dated, I have to touch my hair when I talk about hair. If one of those elements are dated, your whole look is going to feel dated. If one of those elements are off, your whole look is going to feel off. So you want to ask yourself, I just did a little update on my own hair recently because, time got away from me and I was like, man, it's gotten long and like this. So we all need to revisit our beauty routines periodically and consider where we need updates. Have you been wearing your nails the same way for a really long time, and now you're looking down at your hands and you're like, those really, really, really long nails with extra sparkle on them are just not doing me any favors. I don't love the way it looks on my hands anymore. Maybe I can update my nail look. Easy thing. Hands are so important. They're so feminine. It's so feminine to have pretty nails and to have pretty hands. And so maybe you update your manicure. That's a simple little tweak. Maybe you consider a hairstyle that is more flattering to your face shape, where your face shape is right now. That does not mean that you're 50 or 60 or 70 and you have to cut your hair. Clearly, I don't believe that. What I'm alluding to is deciding whether your current beauty look is modern and flattering for you, not based on other rules or based on other things that you've heard in the past, but is it modern and is it flattering for your face and for your coloring? And then you want to look at your beauty routine. I'm talking about that a little bit on YouTube this week, but making small tweaks like switching from a powder to a gel or cream or liquid formulation in your makeup makes a huge difference. If you feel like your makeup just isn't, the things that you were always using that always work just aren't working as well anymore, consider updating your beauty routine with new formulations that are more friendly and more flattering to mature skin. You don't want makeup that settles in your fine lines and draws attention to every imperfection. We all have imperfections. We don't need to point them out by slapping some powder on them and making them stand out more, right? Like that's not going to do us any favors. So consider switching from a powder formulation to gel, liquid, or cream in your makeup, and then consider updating your makeup colors. If you feel like your makeup colors are too harsh and severe and dark, or if you feel like they're too light and they're washing you out too much, consider going to a makeup counter and getting an updated makeup look. I also have catalogs with makeup colors based on your color type, so let me know if you want one of those. Ask me in the comments. Happy to share any of those things. And then also I would encourage you to consider using the words that you would describe your coloring to describe your makeup. So for example, if you've got soft coloring, you're looking for soft makeup shades. If you've got light coloring, you're looking for light makeup shades. If you've got, bright coloring, you're looking for bright makeup shades. So consider using the same words that you would use to describe your coloring to describe your makeup shades, because this is the first thing that people see. It's the first thing that people see. And often, like on Zoom, you guys, I could be wearing PJs. You wouldn't know because you're seeing this, right? So you really want to make sure the portrait, the beauty, that box is checked so that you can update your style. So, okay, I one of the messages, I'm going to look at the comments now. So first, let me recap the 5 things that you can and that I would suggest that you should do to dress your age in 2024. So the first one we talked about is mindset. Decide what those messages were, rewrite them for yourself, reframe them for yourself. The second was your uniform, your daily uniform. How can you update and upgrade your daily uniform? The third is your store. Look at where you're shopping, because if you're bringing in the wrong items, then you're not going to be able to shop it, and you're not going to be able to update your wardrobe if you're on the cycle of shopping the wrong stores and buying the wrong items, shopping the wrong stores and buying the right items, the wrong items. The fourth is look at your accessories. How can you upgrade your accessories? Particularly look at your shoes and your jackets. And then the fifth, look at beauty, your hair, your makeup, your nails. What can you do to update and upgrade those elements of your beauty? The first thing that people see is that beautiful face, and we want you to look and feel your best and most confident in that area all the time. So now let me get to the comments really fast. Older women shouldn't wear shorts or anything sleeveless. Many of us got that message. Older women shouldn't show their knees. They shouldn't show their arms. They shouldn't show, they shouldn't show their shoulders. Really good. Really good. I think a lot of us have heard that. Okay, awesome. You're not supposed to be, not supposed to be sexy. Older women are not supposed to be sexy. Okay, so we should, as soon as you hit 40, as soon as you hit 50, as soon as you hit 60, you should be unattractive after that. Like you should just, at that point, you really should just tone it down. You shouldn't care what you look like, and you should definitely not be trying to be appealing to anybody. Changing your hair your hair part is important too, because it gets flat if you part the same place. Absolutely. So I've been mixing up, talk about updating beauty. I've been mixing up my part, and I'm trying to train my hair now to part on the side again after parting it down the middle for a while, because parting it down the middle was really the more trendy way, but it wasn't necessarily, it's got to a point where it wasn't necessarily the most flattering for my face anymore. So now I'm mixing it up and doing the side part. So changing your part. Another thing I want to say about changing your part is that if you keep your part in the same place, my stylist told me this, if you keep your part in the same place for years and years, you can actually have hair loss at the part because of the weight of your hair. Your hair can start thinning where your part is. So it's important to mix up your part, especially if you feel like you're going to struggle with hair loss, or if you are struggling with hair loss. You get bored with your hair. Yes, I get that. I feel like it's important for all of us to reevaluate our beauty look every year or two. We don't want to, we don't want to be that person who is wearing this same exact look for 20, 30 years. Does anybody else remember the TV show? And then I'll wrap up. The TV show Alice, where Flo used to have her hair that red beehive all the time. Well, a red beehive in the late 70s was not what everybody was wearing, right? Like, we don't want to be stuck in a time warp with our style or with our beauty. So it's really important to just kind of reevaluate every year, every 2 years, and do those updates that are going to help us look and feel our best. So I hope that you enjoy this 5 strategies for dressing your age in 2024. Don't forget, tomorrow on YouTube, I'm going to talk about the new rules. The new rules. We're rewriting the rules now. The new rules of dressing our age in 2024. And then on Friday, I'm going to be diving into the beauty updates that you can be doing on YouTube as well. So love you guys. Let me know in the comments below if you need me to send you any resources, and continue to share what messages you got about dressing your age as you were growing up. Love you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.